What is going on, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of the Birds of the Roundtable, the best Eagles show in the country. As always, we are welcomed by Dibes at Mr. Crockpot. Dibes, what is going on tonight?
What's happening, guys? It's been a minute. I feel like I've missed you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you missed one episode, and
I feel like it's been at least a couple episodes. But anyway, glad to be here on double duty, watching some Sixers basketball, getting ready for that post game. But talking greatest Eagles of all time, and I'm sure my list is going to be a lot different than yours.
Yeah, it certainly is a busy night. The Phillies are certainly doing well right now. You have the second Sixers Summer League game as well. But we are going to be talking Birds. Also joining us, David at PHL Eagle News. David, what is good?
Not much, man. Ready to get into it. Ready to talk about the best offensive players over the last, 44 years? Is that how far we went back? 44?
So what we're doing tonight, folks, and if you're out there, please make sure you give it a like, a share, and a follow. But also make sure that you're commenting and letting us know who you think should be in our top five. So what we're doing is we're taking every single offensive position. We're offense tackle, interior offensive line, we're splitting them up that way. But wide receiver, tight end, running back, quarterback, and we are going to discuss it all. And we are going to go since 1980, since we're all roughly in that age group, since 1980 and on. So nobody, back in the 70s, 60s, no Chuck Bednarik. We're not going to be talking about the old heads. We're not that old, so we didn't see them. We're not talking about them. So comment along. Let us know where we messed up, what we did right. Where do you guys want to start?
I love how you say we're not that old yet. I missed last week's show due to a bad back.
If you have a good reason for having a bad back, I mean.
I say I don't care. You offensive line?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. We can start O-tackle. All right. Why don't each of you go ahead and give us your number one offensive tackle? Who wants to start?
Jason Peters.
Jason Peters. I'm going Lane Johnson, best right tackle in the NFL, and I think will be the best tackle in Eagles history.
Can't go wrong with either one. Best left and best right off the bat.
I have it Jason and then Lane, so I'm good either way, honestly.
Okay.
So however you want to put it. So I assume, David, that's how you have 1 and 2 in that somewhat order. All right. Who do you have at number 3?
John Runyon.
John Runyon. Oh, okay. Interesting.
I have Trey Thomas.
Yeah.
I have him 4th. So we're really close, but
I have Trey 3rd as well.
Yeah, put him 3rd then. Yeah.
Okay.
Do y'all have Runyon 4th, or where do y'all have Runyon?
I have Runyon 4th, Mr. Reliable. And then I went Jordan Mailata number 5.
Me too.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, that one was, I guess, easy, wasn't
it? They have been blessed by having this talent at the lines for 20 plus years. It's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, they certainly have. And again, we're certainly forgoing, again, we're only sticking to this time period, but yeah, this is a pretty successful era. Dodge, did you think we were going to go this fast for your?
No, this is going so fast.
Well, we'll try to slow it down. David, while Dibes is putting in work there on the pictures there, did you have anybody that was kind of an honorable mention or somebody that you were thinking maybe might make your list?
Those were really the only. Those were the first 5 of every category we did. There were only 2 I didn't get to a number 6. It was this position and tight end.
Yeah.
So, actually, no. I mean, the Eagles have just had such longevity. They went from Trey Thomas to Jason Peters to Jordan Mailata. I mean, it's just been just a transition, and this goes even prior to Stoutland getting here. They have just had, a lot of resources have gone into the position, a lot of draft picks, a lot of good coaches over the year, going back to the ones back that worked with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is the strength of the team, and it makes sense to me that there'd be a clear-cut top five.
Yeah, no doubt. Barbara checks in. That guy Frank would rank Hurts number one. All right. And Phil from Trending in the AM, the best morning show out there, checks in. There's time for this. Summer League is on right now.
Phil's doing double duty. I see him tweeting about the Phillies too. So he's got split screen going on.
No, I think it's because he's making fun of that we were doing post game Summer League action last night. And he called everybody sickos. So again, I get it. I understand, Phil. We are a bit of sickos, but listen, there's always time to talk some birds. So, all right, Dives, it looks like you have finished up. Let us know if your guys are out there. Also, real quick, and I'll say this right now: if you are out on Twitter, and we've heard this complaint that we're not seeing your comments, you actually have to go into the video to comment, because when you comment, you're just commenting on the post itself, not the actual video. So, heads up, click into the video, and then you'll be able to comment. We'll be able to see your comments, post them up, interact with you a lot easier. So, all right. Well, hopefully that alleviates some Twitter or X, outrage that there has been. So, all right, David, I'll let you pick what position we go next.
Stay with the line. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we can all say at the count of three who are number one.
Yes, there's a clear-cut one.
Yeah, clear-cut one. So, Dibes, I'm saddened that you already weren't working on the picture.
I got you.
So obviously, we got Jason Kelce, the greatest center in the NFL, and probably our lifetimes, I would say. David, who did you have for number two?
On the interior line, I have number two. Let me pull it back up. I went with Brandon Brooks.
Wow. Who knew he played both sides?
Yeah. Brandon Brooks. Yeah, I'm so used to saying Brandon Graham about everything great that
right.
Just rolls off the tongue.
It's been a minute since we've had to say, Brandon Brooks there. That is a good one. I loved Brandon Brooks. Here, Dibes, do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you got?
I like Brandon Brooks. He was only here for a few years, but when he was in the Pro Bowl. I went Landon Dickerson, number two, for mine.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I think he's already the best at his position. He's 25 years old. He's signed through 2028. The dude's a flat out stud.
All right. It looks like we're going to have some discussion here because I have Evan Mathis.
I love it.
They were my 2, 3, and 4 as well. So
yeah,
we have the same names.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Well, listen, then at that point, I'm glad we at least have the top four all the same. It's all just kind of mixed up. Maybe what will determine it is, Dibes, who did you have as number three?
Number three, I had Brandon Brooks, and number four, I had Evan Mathis.
Okay, so I had Brandon Brooks number three as well. So I think by power of him having a 2 and 2 threes, he should be the number two.
Okay.
David, where did you have Landon Dickerson?
I had him 4. I actually had Mathis 3, Dickerson 4.
Oh boy, now this is going to get tough because that's about dead even. So yeah, oh man, yeah, because I had Mathis.
Host breaks the tie, so.
Oh well, then I guess Mathis it is since I had him too. And then Landon. Listen, Landon will, let's be honest, will be
Probably
number
number
two
two.
on this list.
Yes.
Probably by the end of the year, knowing the way he's been going.
Absolutely.
So I don't doubt that his time will come. But again, I just thought Evan Mathis was just such a solid, consistent piece for this offensive line. All right, David, who did you have for number 5?
Jamal Jackson.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Dibs?
My number 5, I went out of the box, but I thought he was such an underrated player for the Eagles for so many years. He never made a Pro Bowl. 10 years with the Eagles. He played left guard, right guard, some right tackle, just a consistent piece of some great Eagles squads. Give me Todd Herman.
Oh.
He was my 6th.
Okay. Yeah, man, this is rough. So I had Jermaine Mayberry.
Wow.
I also had Sean Andrews as my honorable mention.
I had Hank Fraley as my honorable mention.
That's a good one too, man. They really had some good guys. I think, man. So I'm sorry, David. Who did you have again?
Jamal Jackson.
Jamal Jackson. I had Mayberry and oh, Jesus. All right. Man, what how do we solve this?
I'm not leaving the Todd Herman's hill. He's one of
I'm good with Herman's. I that's who I debated it with. I mean, he was a great pick.
He's one of 14 offensive linemen in NFL history with 2 or more touchdown catches. One came from McNabb in 2008, and another came from Vic in 2010.
Wow.
He's also got the second most starts among Eagles offensive linemen.
Well, listen, you put up some good stats there. Let's go the Hairmans. I'm okay with that. Yeah, listen, they're clearly deep at interior offensive line because I certainly could have, named a couple of different people here for an honorable mention. So, plus I've met him before. He's a really good dude too. Not that necessarily matters in this.
There's a really good interview with him. I can't remember whose podcast it is. It might be Jeff from, I don't know what he's on, but
Jeff Kerr?
No, McLean.
Jeff McLean. Okay.
Yeah, I think he just he has some podcast series that's really excellent. It's very well done, and I'm pretty sure one of the ones I just listened to was with him on it. It's a very good interview.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Well, listen. Let's continue this reverse order that we're going.
You start tight end. This is your position, Ryan. This is all you.
Well, this one is an easy number 1 for me, and that's Zachy Poo, Zach Ertz.
Yep. Same.
All in agreement? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. David, who did you have number 2?
Keith Jackson.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ives, who did you have number 2?
Hold on. Let me get this. This is hard to do.
I love how you picked blonde hair, Zach Ertz. That was great.
My number 2, I'm going arguably one of the most lovable Eagles of all time. Give me Brent Selleck, who was just a model of consistency. Is he your number 2?
He is, yes.
Okay.
I went with Keith Jackson over him. He played here 4 years. He was a first-team All-Pro for 3 of them. I mean, he was absolutely amazing during his time here.
He was.
I didn't even have him on my list.
Oh, wow. He's number 4 on my list. Jeez, maybe we should cut Dives out of this tight end rankings here.
He's the youngest though. He didn't see Keith Jackson probably.
All right. So David, who did you have for your number 3 then? We'll try to get this figured out.
Should I put Keith Jackson number 3?
Maybe. I mean, you didn't have him on your list, so that's certainly, we're Marina says Jackson over Ertz, and it's not close. Well,
I
don't know
almost had
about that.
Jackson 1. I really have to admit it. I really did.
I mean, he was really good. Don't get me
He
wrong.
was
He was very
yeah,
good.
the longevity of Hurts kind of won me over, but
Well,
Jackson
that's
was
the thing. I feel like you have to factor in everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll discuss it in the wide receivers shortly.
But I had it Ertz, Jackson, Selleck, and then 4 I have Goddard.
Oh wow.
I went 3 Goddard.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think talent-wise, he's there. He just needs to stay healthy. Number 4, I went Chad Lewis.
I got Chad Lewis number 3.
Wow. Yeah, like when McNabb had 0 weapons, it was like Chad Lewis and Chad Lewis and Chad Lewis.
Right.
And then my number 5, I went with the backup who gave us the Philly special. Give me Trey Burton.
Oh my God. So you didn't have Keith Jackson on your list, but you put Trey freaking Burton on there?
Hey, I have no emotional attachment to Keith Jackson. He was
I got it. And I have very little too, and hence probably why I don't have him higher. Antonio Holmes, LOL, Keith Jackson, it's easily number 1. Listen, I get it.
I agree with them. I think he was the most talented, but the 4-year thing over.
Well, that's the thing. You have to factor in that. We're not just talking about the most talented, Jackson was a great blocker. Ertz sucked. Well, I wouldn't say sucked. He got better as he got older.
He improved.
Valid reasoning. Listen, you're absolutely right. And I am sure Marina and I'm sure Antonio are probably a little bit, and I don't mean this in any offense, probably a little bit older, have that more of that attachment to Keith Jackson. And hence why, and I'm not saying that belittles their opinion at all. I'm just saying there's that I think there absolutely is a debate. And it's not because I have some attachment to Zach Ertz either, because I don't. I have Chad Lewis 3. I have Keith Jackson 4, and then I have Dallas Goedert 5. So do we want to put Chad and then Goddard? I theoretically have LJ Smith as my honorable mention.
No, LJ Smith would not be on this list. No.
Yeah, it's definitely between Lewis and Goddard for 4 and 5.
Better than Burton. You guys decide how you want to flip.
Well, let's do Goddard number 5, and then Lewis number 4.
That dance that he did right there is one of the greatest moments of the Andy Reid era when they finally got over the hump. He breaks his leg, but still celebrates, still dances, and they make it to a
Antonio. I love some Ertz too. Don't we all, buddy?
Not this year. We won't.
Goddard is better than Ertz. Well, okay. Listen, you might be right. If we were talking a talent alone type thing, yeah, you might be right. Goddard looks like he has all the talent in the world, but 1, he can't stay on the field long enough, and 2, it doesn't seem to be involved in the offense enough to be able to show that. So,
and isn't Ertz 11 catches away from having the all-time reception record for an Eagle? Any position.
Zach Ertz was 5 years with 70 or more receptions.
Before AJ Brown got here, he had the single season reception.
He had 116 in 1 year as a tight end. It was insane.
Right, that's insane. So I don't want to hear that. Again, Goddard better, maybe talent wise, but not on this list.
Yeah, if Gronk never happened, he'd be right in that conversation, like top tight end of that stretch.
So all right, so we ended up going with Ertz 1, Brent Selleck number 2, Keith Jackson 3. Chad Lewis, number 4, and Dallas Goedert. Who knows? I'm hoping Goddard will move up this list. That would be great. I would love to see it. I'd love to see him play 17 games and get over 1,000 yards and assert himself as one of the top tight ends in the league. But I think we all, at this point, need to be in that I'll see it when I see it kind of deal, Yeah. All right, let's move right along to running back. This one. Okay. So, side note on the Football Smack Talk show, me and my co-host Eric, we didn't go in order. We just named, 5. We kind of did the same exercise, and the running back is where we got into the biggest argument. I mean, this thing lasted about 10 minutes of us yelling at each other back and forth. So just letting you know. So why don't we start it off? Who is your number one running back, Dipes?
I said I didn't have any personal attachment to Keith Jackson, but this guy I do have an attachment to. Sorry, Antonio, it's not shady. I'm going Brian Westbrook for my number one. Just the quintessential modern running back. I love B West. He's still to this day one of my favorite Eagles players. And give me Westy.
Nice. David?
Yeah, this was one of the only positions that I went back and forth for number one. Like Peters versus Lane was probably the only other close decision I had to go with. But I agree with Dobbs. I think it's Brian Westbrook is the best running back over the past 40 years. He had 6,300 rushing yards, almost 4,000 receiving yards. He was the weapon in the early years with McNabb until they invested in Terrell Owens. I mean, he did everything you could ever want. He was a true professional, great player, smart, as he displayed against that game in Washington years ago, where he went down to 1 yard line and broke every fantasy player's heart.
This guy right here. I don't want to talk about it.
I was at that game and totally confused when he went down, and then like a second later, I was like, "Oh yeah, this was brilliant! Yes."
Yeah, right. Oh man. Yeah. Well, listen. That's a unanimous number one, folks. I also have B Westbrook.
So he and Kelsey are the only unanimous so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Well, no, Ertz wasn't he? Oh, yeah. Theoretically, Ertz was. So
are there double running backs up on the board?
Yes. Well, we're just doing some on the fly changes here. Don't just
change one of the R's to an F. Let's rate 5 fullbacks.
You're insanity. Get out of here.
Leonard Weaver.
Yeah. 803 Hitman Shady is number one. Apparently Antonio Holmes thinks that's funny. Westbrook is number two. Shady easily. Again, come on, folks. You can't be saying easily. Like, come on. Like, did you not remember I feel like people have blinders on for certain people, and they're like, oh well, easily. No one in this list except for Kelsey was easy number one. Anyway, we all agree
McCoy at number two.
Yeah, can we all agree that McCoy is number two?
I'm good with that.
I mean, Westbrook
easily number two. Sorry.
Westbrook was 800 yards and rushing behind Shady. I'm somewhere around there. They were under 1,000.
Yeah,
separating them.
And I'm sure Westbrook has 800 more receiving yards than Shady.
But it was a coin flip. Everybody who says LaShawn was number one, I can understand the argument.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely a debatable topic here.
Yeah.
Shady did all that work in 6 years. Westbrook was there a couple of years longer. He was there 8 years, but
yeah. And Westbrook came from Division II school, had to kind of work his way into it, and Shady was pride of Pittsburgh, and was second round pick. So anyway,
I hate even choosing between them there, but yeah.
The thing about McCoy is he had 8 fourth quarter rushing touchdowns of at least 40 yards or more. That's the most in NFL history for Westbrook. Between 2003 and 2008, he trailed only LaDainian Tomlinson and Clinton Portis in scrimmage yards, and he had 28 receiving touchdowns during that period, which was twice as many as any other running back during that stretch.
Wow!
So that's how elite this guy was in terms of modern running.
He also returned punt for a touchdown. I mean, he was amazing, man.
Yep.
Yeah. No doubt. All right,
here's
David.
Where it gets fun.
Yeah. Who do you have for number 3?
Me?
Yep.
It's going to make everyone happy. Ricky Waters.
What?
Oh, okay. For what? Oh my goodness! We're shaking it up here. Dives, who do you have?
My number 3, I went with Deuce. Fifth in franchise history, 4,800 rushing yards. He also has 275 catches, fourth most ever by an Eagles running back. And he's one of only 3 running backs in NFL history who has had 1,000-yard rushing seasons and never made a Pro Bowl. I love Deuce, man. Deuce Staley all the way.
I feel like you're making the case against him there. He's 5th in rushing.
He's my list, Ryan.
He's 5th in rushing, but we're putting him number 3. He's never made a
Ricky
Pro
Waters-
Bowl.
Ricky had 5,000 yards in 3 years. I mean,
Listen,
he was elite.
Right, but he was here for a short period of time.
Yep, those 3 years were amazing seasons.
Wilbert Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The stats don't lie. When you look after Westbrook and after Shady, guess who's there in most of the stats? It's Wilbert Montgomery, not Ricky Waters.
I have him 4th, so I can't argue that.
That's
not
Ricky
on my
Waters.
list.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
Get him out of
it was before my time, man. I'm not going to put someone on my list.
No, I respect it.
Listen, I got it.
As long as Donnell Pumphrey's not number 5, we're good.
Oh, hey, thank you for not saying Wendell Smallwood.
Now, I'm trying to protect you. I don't want to see that go down.
Seriously, come on now. I'll stretch.
All right. Should we put Waters number 4?
I see. I would like to say no to that. I have Ricky as 7th on my list.
Number 4, I have Darren Sproles.
I have Sproles 5.
Really?
Yes.
Sproles was awesome, man.
I have Deuce 4.
During a time like he was a guy that could make anybody miss. He's kind of been a running back that saw the Eagles through the lowest of the lows with Chip Kelly and the highs of the highs with Doug Peterson. Darren Sproles, man, he was so underrated.
Oh, absolutely. David, who so obviously you had Ricky 3. You said you had Wilbert 4.
Yep.
All right. Who was your 5th?
Deuce. And I agree with everything Dive said about Sproles, but at the end of the day, I think the dude had like 1,300 rushing yards in 6 years. I just couldn't put him in my top 5.
Yeah, listen, and I can understand that, but at least Deuce, I'll say, is at least on all of our lists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like he kind of at least has to be put somewhere into here.
Put him at 4?
Yeah, let's put him at 4, and then we'll argue who should be number 5, because you say you have Ricky on your list, you have Darren Sproles on your list. I also have Sproles, but I also have Keith Byers right there. I also again, maybe it's my kind of bias against Ricky, mostly because he was not here for a long time, and he was very, very good, but he was very frustrating as a fan. He frustrated the crap out of you.
No, I get it. Yeah. My only argument is he had double the yards that Sproles did in half the seasons. But.
Well, listen, and I can 100% agree and concede to that argument that we should have Ricky over Darren. I just sent Darren met more at a time and could do more, not only just rushing the ball, but receiving and returning. And, I look at it as kind of all purpose yards and that. But again, I will concede that Ricky should be in over Sproles.
Ricky had a lot of receiving yards too. I don't remember what they were.
Again, I know he lit it up for 3 years for sure.
Keith Byers was my next player. I think he's the last running back ever taken by the Eagles in the first round. I think.
I believe you might be right.
After saying he wouldn't take them the whole season, Buddy Ryan then selected Keith Byers. I'm pretty sure it was round 1.
Yeah. Antonio says Ricky. Nobody can argue Wilbert, but 4th. 7th, in response to my Ricky Waters being my 7th. Sproles wasn't a starter.
He was
Again,
more of a gadget. I mean, I
yeah,
get
he
it.
was, but he was that offense at times. You know, it's you can't underestimate his impact on the
No,
team.
absolutely not. He's a borderline Hall of
Yeah.
Famer in my position, especially in my opinion, especially if they go by special teams numbers.
Well, yeah, and as they should. I think that's what his. He had three parts to him: receiving, rushing, and the return game. So.
And if this was top 5 special teamers, he'd definitely be on my
Oh,
list.
well, yes. When I did this exercise a little bit ago, he was absolutely tops there in special teamers. But listen, I'll concede to you guys. If you guys want to say Ricky, I'm good with Ricky.
I'm good with Ricky. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do Ricky. Sorry, Sproles. We'll put you honorable mention, bud.
Thanks, Antonio.
Yeah. Antonio was very big on Ricky.
All right, let's go to wide receiver.
Wide receivers, yes.
All right, number one is T.O. No question, hands down.
TO2. What about you, David?
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
No, I debated it back and forth, but if I just Terrell Owens.
Okay.
I didn't even write it down because I still hadn't really decided.
Okay. Well, then there you go. I think 2 against undecided makes a TO.
But number 2 is going to be number 1 next year when we do this.
Oh yeah. So number 2, I have AJ Brown.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's T.O. versus AJ for me the last 40 years. I don't see how it's that debatable.
I'm right there with you, David.
Who do you got, Ryan? You got somebody who we
you already put him on.
Hey, me and Dobbs are 1 and 2, so we already beat you.
I have Harold Carmichael, folks. Do we all forget Harold Carmichael?
Yep.
He was like 6 foot a million. He was quick. He caught everything. He had long arms. He was easily the Eagles' best wide receiver for the longest time.
And he had 1,000 yards twice, or once, or 2 or 3 times.
And he was, he holds so many records, Eagle receiving records. And no offense to AJ Brown, but he's been here for two years essentially.
And he has half the numbers that AJ has half his numbers in 2 years that Harold put up in 13.
I don't know about that. It was a different time.
It was, but I love Carmichael. He really was a great player, but I kind of used the last 40-year thing. He only played with the Eagles like 3 years in the 80s, so I kind of made that a barometer as well.
All right.
Maybe 4 years. I think he went to Dallas in 84.
Antonio just is hating on me. That's all I know. All right. Listen, I had Brown 5th. I couldn't move him up. I get it. But I couldn't move him up over some of these legendary names that we're about to talk about.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Who do we got number 4?
My number 4, Deshaun Jackson.
David?
Deshaun Jackson.
Well, Deshaun Jackson is the next person on my list. So he's technically my number 3. But yes, I'll go D-Jax here. For sure. I mean, he was absolutely, he was a game changer. We never saw.
He was electric, man. If he had stayed healthy.
Oh my God. 5th. Wow. Yeah, man. Antonio hates me.
Deshaun Jackson has 35 touchdowns of 50 yards or more.
Yeah, by far.
Which is second all time to Jerry Rice.
Yeah, and Jerry Rice has over 200 touchdowns.
He was the most exciting player on the Eagles for a decade, man. He was amazing.
The most exciting player in the NFL for almost a decade.
Every time he touched the ball, punt returns.
I mean, think about it right now. If I asked you to think about just 5 specific Deshaun Jackson plays, both of you guys could easily do that in about
Absolutely.
2 seconds. Right.
Yes.
That's because what he did was insanely memorable.
All right. Number 5, I'm going Macklin. Give me Jeremy Macklin.
Oh, David.
I went Mike Quick.
Mike Quick is my number 4, but yes, since AJ Brown is my number 5. Macklin and Fred Barnett were my 2 honorable mentions.
Yep. Macklin and Barnett were my 2, 6 and 7 as well.
Yep.
All right. So we'll put Mike Quick on here.
Quick. Yeah. Yeah. Mac just missed out for me.
All right. Let's roll on the quarterback.
I feel like Devontae's probably, might be on this list relatively soon.
Yeah, I had Devontae in my list.
Especially as other players age out, if we keep this a 40-year thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we're gonna lose some probably a player almost in each position there. But all right, here we are, the quarterbacks, the last offensive position. Now, folks, we are going to go ahead and do the defensive side of the ball next week. Do we have Shane back, by the way, next week, or
we should? I don't know what his schedule is.
Well, either way, hopefully, Shane, if you're out there, we hope to have you back soon, buddy. So yeah, we'll go over the defensive side of the ball, and obviously in the comments, please. I know Antonio's been doing it all day. Tell us exactly how I'm wrong, and let us know who you would have as your 5 in any particular position there, and make sure you share it with your friends. Make it a debate at the bar. You know what I mean? That's the kind of the debates I love having. So no, Antonio, I'm just messing with you, buddy. Please, I can take it, man. I can take it. I'm a pro. All right, quarterback. This one's going to get a little dicey at the end, isn't it?
Number 1, give me McNabb.
McNabb. Okay,
it's not debatable at this point.
Yeah, that was a nice easy one. I'm glad that went smooth. All right, David, who's your number 2?
Jalen Hurts.
Wow.
And I know this is where it probably differs from a lot of lists, but
okay. Listen, it's not that out of the realm of possibility. He theoretically is in my top 5.
He's in mine.
Okay, so again, not the craziest stretch. Dibs, where did you have him?
Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
Number 4.
Same. I had him number 4 as well. Okay, so let's kind of maybe put him off to the side until we officially. Who's Dives? Who's your number 3?
Number 3, I have.
Oh wait, did you say who your number 2 was?
No.
Oh, who was your number 2?
It's Nick Foles.
Oh Jesus.
Nick Foles, only quarterback to win a Super Bowl. His numbers speak for themselves. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in 2013. Set NFL records, the Philly Special, Super Bowl MVP, 7 touchdown game in Oakland, highest passer rating in franchise history, 24-7 in 31 regular season games and postseason starts, man.
So by that rationalization, if the 2022 defense didn't suck in the Super Bowl and Hurts won a Super Bowl, would he thus be second?
Yeah, apparently. Okay, so I assume you had Randall 3 then?
Yeah, I had Randall 3.
Okay, David.
I had Randall 3.
Okay, so I had Randall 2.
So 2 it is.
I think that should be number 2 because again, he got
Agreed.
a 2 and 2 3s. So by lowest golf score, if you will, that's an 8. Foles. Foles, I put 3. I didn't want to. Honestly, I hated myself for doing it because I personally and listen, I'm going to get a lot of hate for it. I personally think Nick Foles is the most overrated Philadelphia athlete in the history of Philadelphia athletes. I think we put him up on the pedestal of pedestals. There's a lot of slobbing of the knob, if you will, and he was. Listen, he was a below average quarterback who did some above average things in the clutch, and awesome that he did it. And I'm thankful for that he did it.
If the rumors are true with BDN, that's a lot of slobbing there, right?
Hey, I didn't say it's me that's slobbing. It's the fans.
Make sure you clip that part, Dibes.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God!
Just for clarification, who was number 3? Hurts.
I think I would say probably Hurts, since and then I would assume Foles then.
I have Foles 5th.
Okay, so if that's the case, 3, 2, 4, yeah. So then that should be Foles theoretically. All right, so Dibes, who did you have 5th?
My number 5 quarterback. I went Carson Wentz.
Ooh, David, who did you have?
Ron Jaworski.
Yeah, I had Ron Jaworski.
All right, we can run. I'm good with Carson not being on.
Yeah, Carson was my runner-up.
Agreed. I had him 6th as well.
Yeah, and then Vic was 7.
I did have Vic as an honorable mention.
Yeah. Where do you guys put the Eagles' legendary backup, Kenny Pickett? 8, right?
Oh, for sure.
Right
after Tanner McKee.
All right, there it is.
All right, folks, there you have it. Here is our top 5 Eagles players on the offensive side of the ball since 1980 to the present, so the last 44 years or so. Where did we go wrong? Would you change?
Nowhere.
Let us know in the chat. Obviously, we think that. But please make sure you share this. We're going to get on out of here because Dibes has summer league duty. Dibes, hit us up. Where can the people find you? What do you got going on? Let us know.
Right there, Mr. Crockpot doing a Sixers post-game show right now. And then check out our NFL draft show on Sunday. We'll be talking top 10 defensive linemen in the 2025 NFL draft. So any Eagles fans out there who want to get a quick rundown of probably the best position in the draft, hit us up on Sunday night.
Can't wait. All right, there you go. Follow him at Mr. Crockpot on X, Twitter. David, where can the people find you? What are you working on? Let the people know.
PHL Eagle News can hit me up right there. Everything I write, everything I post, everything I BS about, it's all there on the X handle.
Very good. Dibes did have to run out because those sickos are doing post game for every summer league action. In fact, I'm normally on Party on Broad, which is normally on at 9:00 every Monday, but it kind of coincided with the first Sixer League Summer League game, and I kind of got sucked into a post game show. And listen, I watch the Sixers. I'm a fan. I'm not like a dissecting the summer league type of Sixers fan. So it was funny. I just basically sat there and just let everybody else kind of talk. But yeah, you can follow me right here at Philly Sports PSA. You can follow me on all the other socials. Normally 6:00 Mondays, Football Smack Talk Show. Like I said, 9:00, Party on Broad on Monday as well. The best Eagles show in the nation here every Tuesday at 8:00. And then, of course, the show that Dibes referenced earlier is the Party on Broad College Football Show, Sunday nights at 8:00, where we basically talk about the upcoming college football season, NFL prospects, Eagles prospects more specifically. We'll talk about betting, fantasy aspects, the whole 9 yards. So if you want to get into college football or you love the NFL draft, that's the show to do it. But that's going to be it for us. Please make sure that you guys like, follow, subscribe, share it, whatever the buttons tell you to do for Edge of Philly Sports. We are all over social media, and you can, of course, find this on the Eagles Pin Pull Network. Is a brand new network that is just starting up with some amazing shows, including this one, including our good buddy Shane Half with On the Shane page. Eagles Memories with John Stolnis, and a few other ones in the works for the football season. So please.
Are we going to be posting the graphic of tonight's picks?
Yes, we'll be posting that on social. Dibes has all that, so you guys can comment there. So we'll post that all over Edge of Philly Sports and, of course, all of our Twitters as well. So that's going to do it for us. David, any last thoughts before we bounce on out of here?
No, sir. Enjoyable show. It was a few differences, but that was to be expected. But
yeah,
for the most part,
absolutely.
I think we got it right.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I think some of them are debatable. And again, when you kind of give that cutoff, it's hard to kind of, Carmichael, as you said, a great point. If you're talking from 80 and on, he really wasn't here that long. So certainly a great point. But that's it for us. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Marina. And thank you, everybody else, for commenting. Again, didn't see too many Twitter or X users commenting. Again, maybe they're still stuck on the clicking on the show and then commenting aspect that seems to plague a lot of people. So, all right, folks, we will see you guys next week for the Birds of the Roundtable. Go Birds.